Everyone has fallen out of love with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero recently, and I wanted to go over a very few reasons why this may have happened, and hopefully how this won't continue to happen. First, we lost the 90% player base in like a month, and now we're in this really downwards period where everyone is talking about how the game wasn't really that fun, the game was maybe a little bit too overhyped, etc, etc. So I want to go over things about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero that, in my opinion, I think make it kind of hard for players to have a constant enjoyment, especially with the online. And even very recently, actually, Steedoj uploaded 2 Dragon Ball Sparking Zero videos, and 2 videos back-to-back are talking about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the quality of the game. Less so the gameplay itself, and more so the quality, with an honest look at the game, and then why everyone quit. So you can imagine how most people feel about it. Even Steedoj, someone who's pretty good at Dragon Ball games and a big Dragon Ball content creator, is feeling a bit iffy about this one. It kind of doesn't reflect good for how the rest of the player base is going to see the game. I want to go over why it might be kind of hard for people to enjoy this game from a multiplayer basis, and then I want to talk about the game's single player basis. And yes, I'm going to compare it to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 because that is the last other Dragon Ball game that people really care about online. Dragon Ball FighterZ is basically completely abandoned, and it's entirely different from a gameplay standpoint, so I'm not going to be talking about that. Hello everyone, it's me again, Steedoj here, back to more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and we will start off first with, so the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero French tournament. That tournament was so bad that it had everyone on Twitter talking about it. It had the officials wondering how they should handle this, and even had the winner coming out saying, oh, this game is so broken, Banner needs to fix the game. I can't believe I won the tournament by doing this. Well, him and the person he was competing with got banned. I only think one of them should honestly get banned. The other guy getting banned for not wanting to swap his characters after losing is kind of unfair because he didn't think he was going to win with any other team, so that's just cruel. But the person who was, obviously using the exploit to win in the tournament did get disqualified, right? And I want to talk less about the disqualification and more so about the reaction to seeing such a thing would have on the player base and on the company. Now, if you have a big official tournament and one of the people wins the tournament by doing an exploit that's extremely boring to watch, it's very unentertaining. It makes people go, oh, so you can win every match by just doing that. You never have to actually play the game. That makes people who are already 50-50 on wanting to play the game more just drop it completely. And that makes people who do like the game see the game in a new light, and eventually they will drop it completely if they see something else that they don't like. And that makes people who have dropped the game completely have an even lower chance of wanting to get back onto the game. And that's, of course, very hurtful for the game's image. So they naturally took the precautions. They said, all right, just get rid of this guy, get him out of here. But the damage has already been done. Everyone has already seen this. So you don't want it to get worse. Just get the guy out. Blame the player, not the game, right? That's the easiest solution. That's what the company is trying to do here. I raised a question in the last video. What do you guys think? Hate the player or the game? And a lot of you, including me, came to the conclusion that we should actually hate both. Because in this instance, you can just play the game normally. I'm pretty sure you know when you're doing an exploit and it's really nasty and no one likes seeing that. Because even the defenses people come up with, like, oh, we were playing the game in the most optimal way. I've never heard someone say playing the game the most optimal way when they're doing, like, sick combos or these long-ass moves, or they're reading their opponents well. No one says optimal when they do that. They just say, I'm playing the game good. When people say optimal, notice that anytime you've ever played the game, whenever someone says optimal, they're always just talking about an exploit. I think both were in the wrong here, because this guy clearly knew he wasn't playing in the most legit way ever, calling it optimal rather than saying, yeah, I played really well. You know what I mean? But it's also kind of Bandai's fault for not really fixing that. Again, it didn't really become a major issue until this tournament, but if Dragon Ball Sparking Zero had a beta, like everyone is asking it to have, things like this would have been seen a long time ago, and they would have been patched. Now, hopefully, because this happened in a big tournament, and it's already kind of, sullied the game's image a tiny bit online, it's going to get patched in the December patch, which, we don't know when it's going to happen, but sometime this month. So hopefully this does get patched quite soon. Now, you have a lot of different takes on how people think Sparking Zero should be played or how it can be fun again and stuff like that. But I'm going to talk about from my experience of the game, multiplayer-wise, and from what I see with a lot of other people too who hate super counters. No one wants to be stuck in a Z-Vanish clash for the entire game, or for a super counter clash the entire game, because it's just really boring. A good example is this, right? No one wants to see this for the entire match. That's just really boring. Having most of your Dragon Ball Sparking Zero match being defensive play, and by defensive play, I mean literally one mechanic the entire match, rather than actually just dodging and reacting to opponents' attacks and doing damage when you see an opportunity to do damage. Most of it is literally just two people just knocking each other back, super counters, or Z-vanishing each other. And like a lot of people say, this even has 15,000 likes. This is the most insanely boring Sparking Zero gameplay I've ever seen. But guess what? This is all you see now. The game is now old enough that at the point of this was like when the game just came out, right? October 15th, October 16th, right? This is when the game first came out. Now we're at a point where this is all you see online. Where if you get even a few hits on someone, super counter. if you get hit, you're also going to super counter if it even works, right? Depending on how fast you mash it. And that just creates a super boring gameplay loop. You can already see people back then didn't think this was cool. Now, especially when the game is in most people's hands, they're going to go, God damn, this is boring. You even have people saying Sparking Zero with its current meta is kind of hard to take seriously at the moment with the over-reliance on super counter, vanish, and cheese strats that are too strong. But there's definitely mad potential if patched, and there's still some sick moments like, you know, this comeback here, right? Because making a comeback against a Sparking mode character, spamming Key Blast counters against you and his entire team is very hard to do. But Sparking Zero does a very hard job of wanting to make you play in a different way. You know what I mean? If you wanted to play in a different style, you can't. You can only play Sparking Zero really in one way, and I hate to compare it to Xenoverse 2, but that's another game that tries to force you to play one way exclusively, because you are either spamming like key cancels and doing all of the exploits, that way you can always be on top of the enemy, or you're just going to have a really hard time fighting them. But the difference is, and I hate to give Xenoverse 2 credit because I don't like that game, because I think Sparking Zero is still a more fun game than Xenoverse 2. But Xenoverse 2 actually did give you, I want to say debatably, more options than Sparking Zero. If you get attacked in Sparking Zero from, let's say from behind, right? Because at least if you're getting attacked from the front, you can like mash a super counter out sometimes. Or a perception out or something, right? But if you're getting attacked from the back, your only option is to mash super counter, where Xenoverse 2 gave you evasives, it gave you vanishes, and it actually also gives you the unique third option of if you have certain super attacks or skills on, you might just be able to armor through certain damage you're taking, or call a Death Slicer back towards your enemy while they're attacking you. And I think stuff like that from Xenoverse 2 is genuinely really cool. Like it's probably the only Dragon Ball game I can think of where if you're in the middle of getting comboed, you can have like more than just, oh, I just teleport behind my enemy, or oh, I just block my enemy's attack and like just reflect his attack and all that stuff, you know. It's kind of tough to want to stay invested in a game that doesn't give you a lot back from an online, because after you played the single player, which is the same as every Dragon Ball single player, so most people don't even finish it because they're like, oh, I've already played this before. After you played the single player, the only thing left for you is offline battles. And again, I might say that the offline battles aren't as insane as they were in Tenkaichi 3 either, but that's a whole different subject. I don't want to compare Sparking Zero to Tenkaichi 3 in this video, so we'll save that for another time. But Sparking Zero single player content, you play all of the story mode, or you don't because it's a Dragon Ball story mode. You already know what it is. And then you're done with it, right? You play a few offline battles, maybe, and then you're done with that. And maybe you try a custom battle, but custom battle puts a lot of really trash custom battles towards the top of the list. I don't understand. There are a lot of really bad custom battles that make it to the top of the list, so it makes people just disregard the entire game, because the really good ones just get like ignored, and they're really niche and they're super hard to find. Again, if you guys ever have any good custom battles, just let the people know your custom battle codes. Let people play your fun custom battle game. But there's a lot of ones that are just really boring. Goku versus Goku. Oh my god, and it's Blue Goku versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And it's one intro cutscene, a normal fight with no special effects, and then one exit cutscene. And it's the one that's #1 on the custom battle like front page. Like I wanna play something exciting, I wanna play something silly, you know? But it makes the single player content seem kinda hard. So what do people do? They go straight to multiplayer. And then they fight this. They fight this on multiplayer. You know, they get punished with brutal mechanics like this. Oh, did you get hit by an ultimate attack? Okay, now you're forced to not be able to see your enemy. And now your enemy can now charge up another ultimate attack and just actually kill you. Or kill your next character. It's just tough. It's really hard to like justify going, oh, I want to play more of this. Because how can you defend this? You get hit by an unblockable ultimate, and then Broly can charge up another unblockable ultimate before your character's even done falling back from taking the last unblockable ultimate. And his unblockable ultimate has tracking. So it's like, you know, this is kind of ridiculous. We all massively overhyped Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That's a point you see a lot, because I don't want to say the game was overhyped. It's just kind of disappointing that the amounts of things you can do in the game aren't actually that much. Again, the customization for Sparking Zero is still super lacking. Characters have like 10, 20 accessory slots, and most characters in the game can only equip one accessory. I get there's supposed to be post-launch support, but goddamn, when is the post-launch support? In Tenkaichi 3, you could change your aura color. And they were like, oh yeah, don't worry, you could do that for Sparking Zero too, but where is it? We still don't have it. The game's been out for like more than a month now, and we still don't have that. I know I spent most of the video being negative now, but here's the big issue. I don't even hate the game. I still think it's a much better game than Xenoverse 2, despite the fact that it gives you like less player freedom than Xenoverse 2, ironically. And that really hurts to say, because Xenoverse 2 sucks. Like, it's a bad game. I don't want to say any game is worse to play than Xenoverse 2, or less enjoyable to play online than Xenoverse 2. But like even this clip, like, dude, like, it's rough. It's a good game in my opinion. I still think there's a lot of stuff you could do in single player that makes it fun, whether you try the what if stories, or you find an actual good custom battle, or when you get into that rare instance of an actually good online mod, a good online match. Again, I'd say it's one of the games that you should play with your friends. That's a good point. Xenoverse 2, I hate Xenoverse 2. And Xenoverse 2 is not even a game I would say play with your friends. It's not worth it. But Sparking Zero, you can actually play with your friends, despite the fact that you have less player freedom in this game than in Xenoverse 2. So yeah, I guess that's where I'm going to end the video. I didn't want it to turn into a Sparking Zero rant, but it did, because I had a lot to get off of my chest with the game. And probably the only time I'm really going to rant about the game until, I don't know, I feel like making my next video like, the patch didn't save Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, or some insane, you know, nonsense like that. But for now, I think this is a good place to end the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, then again, please leave a like in the video. Don't forget to subscribe, it greatly supports the channel, and leave a comment down below as to what you'd like to see next. Another thing about Sparking Zero I just noticed, where is the Jesus mod? We have like 1,500,000 Kefla Guna mods, and we don't have one Jesus mod. Why? But that'll be it. I love you all, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Take care, and peace.